Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 pre-registration webinar with Camp Raven Knob. We are excited for everyone to be here that's with us live, and those watching later on, welcome as well. Uh, just a little housekeeping, if you would, go ahead and throw in the chat what troop you guys are with and where you're from. That way we can see who all we got here, and it's great to see folks doing that already. We are tremendously excited for this upcoming summer. Summer camps across the nation have been up and down since 2020, and we're proud to be in a really good position heading into this year and having a terrific program lined up. About a month ago, we interviewed our staff and have all of them currently hired, and are very excited with about an 85% retention rate of our staff from previous summer. So we're very excited about that. So with us tonight, we have several folks. First off, we've got Max Carpige, who is one of our admin team specialists, mostly working with the website and leaders guide and things like that. We also have Nate Todd, who is one of our registration folks as well, kind of one of the folks who got us off the ground with our Tentaroo system in years prior to Tentaroo. And so he's going to be walking us through our registration system. And we also have Ash Stimke, our program director. My name is Hunter Day. I'm the camp director, and we're excited you're here. So great to see so many folks joining us from all over the place. Folks from literally 5 minutes down the road and about 12 hours down the road, and maybe even further. So we are very excited that you guys are here with us tonight. So just to kind of kick things off, we'll be here for about an hour. We will try to wrap it up a little bit quicker. We are planning to do a webinar once a month leading up to camp. Go ahead and mark your calendars from a month from today. Monday, March 7th, we will have another one of these webinars as we get ready for session registration opening on March 15th. As we go along tonight, be sure to throw any questions into the chat. We will be answering those live, and if we're not answering them live, we'll be happy to follow up with an email to you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to drop Ash out of here for just a second. All righty. All right. So few things to kick off. I want to touch on the timeline. Several folks had questions on the timeline for payments and session registration, and we're going to go in depth in that through our Tentaroo system here shortly. But just to kind of give you an update, February 15th, next week, you will have the opportunity to log into the Tentaroo system and can put in your unit count. And we will show you how to do this. Right now, if you were to log into your Tentaroo site, you will see that you're registered for the week that you were given, and it shows one youth and one adult added. That will change because you guys have the power to change that to the correct number of youth and adults as things vary since you put your reservation in or joined us last summer. At that point, you will be able to pay your $150 per scout, which you need to have in the system to register on March 15th. On March 15th at 9 a.m., if all of those things are clicking, your scouts' names are in there, your $150 are paid, and the little orange bar that we'll show you later are all gone, you will be able to successfully register for merit badges on 9 a.m. on March 15th. So just keep that in mind, and we're going to go into more details on those things. I'm going to share the screen here real quick. Max, if you can go back to the home screen there on ravennob.com. We just want to make sure everyone is getting the details that they need and being able to access those as quickly as possible. If you're with your trooper, you need access to these things. The first thing is the leader's guide. You can access that as it is the first thing that pops up on the ravennob.com website. On the banners, you can click on that, or you can go to summer camp on the tab and then go to, I believe it's the forms page. So our leaders guide and forms. And in this page, you can find all sorts of goodies that are going to answer a lot of questions for you. You'll find leaders guides. You'll find special diet forms. You'll find prerequisites. A lot of the information that you guys need are found right here in this page. So be sure to keep that bookmarked that you can go back to it often. All right, Max, I think I'm good there with the website. We'll go back to some of that here later. All righty. So we're going to move on over with Nate Todd. Nate, if you can go ahead and get prepared to share your screen here so we can get you going on our Tentaroo page.
I am ready.
Awesome.
So let's share, and then we'll do Chrome tab. All right. So, like Hunter said, Hunter, you got it?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So, like Hunter said, when you are going to register, you'll log in to Tentaroo, which you can find on our website, ravennob.com. If you click in the top right corner where it says log in, it will take you here. The important thing is if you're a new unit, you do not need to go create an account. We've already created you one. If you're a new unit, Hunter already sent you one. If you've been with us before and forgot your login credentials, just reach out to Hunter or email registration@ravennob.com and we will get you that information. Whatever you do, do not create a new account because our system is set up where we assign you to your week. You can't actually go select a week. So if you create a new account and try to register for camp, you won't be able to register. So most important takeaway is don't create an account. We have already created one for you and place you in your week. So like Hunter said, when you log in, you won't see any of these options at the bottom where it says admin. You'll see this. Your unit will show up here and your council will show up here. So make sure that's all correct. And then you'll see the week you're attending. So this is the important stuff for you. So whenever it's time, like he said, on February 15th, anytime after showing 9 a.m., this is all based on your time zone. Anytime after on February 15th, we can go in and update our unit count. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Two important dates to remember, February 15th and March 15th. Like Hunter mentioned earlier, you have to have your $150 deposit per scout by March 15th in order to begin session registration. Your unit count registration we will handle all that. Your unit count, it doesn't really matter as long as it's done sometime before the March 15th. It doesn't really matter when you get that in. So just make sure you have it done by March 15th because session registration is the most important time because that's how you get your merit badges. So I'm going to walk you through how to update your unit count. So you'll click on your week here. It'll show up in your home tab. That takes you to this right here. There's a link to the leader's guide and the website if you need to go pull that up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to registration and we're going to hit manage spots. Like Hunter said, right now it's showing one adult and one youth. We put that in there just so we have a base. So you're going to go ahead and hit manage spots and we're going to change that to, let's say we have 7 1 liter and a half liter. We're going to do those. You will not see this option. That's just for admin folks. And then you won't see anything in your campsite either because we assign you to campsites. All right, when we're done with that, you can pay here. So if you want to pay the $150 per scout, you can just figure out what that would be. Pay that there. Or if you need to pay back later, you can just click pay minimum required amount and hit complete. Now, as with everything that you do, the entire registration process, it is very important. It's just like Amazon or any other online shopping. You have to check out your changes. So you'll hit your little shopping cart up here and you're going to hit checkout. Once you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll hit place order. Only once you see this have all your changes been processed. So you want to make sure that you do that when you're done making your updates. All right. So to go ahead again to get to that, you're going to click your week. You're going to manage your spots and update your totals here. So you'll be ready when March 15th rolls around to do session registration. You can go ahead and add scouts to your roster. The way we're going to do that is we're going to hit add participant under participants. And then you're going to look at your group. Go ahead and add everybody that's in your group. And we're going to check all that. So you can add anybody, new youth, new adult, by clicking that, fill out all this information, save it, and then they'll be ready to go for the 15th of March. Do we have any questions, Hunter or Max, so far?
Not so far, but just a reminder, guys, if everybody watching, if you do have questions through here, be sure to throw those in the chat, and we will answer them here live. But
So
not so
I
far.
just saw one, Doc Daffner, just do all platforms support Tentaroo? Yes, you should be able to use Tentaroo on the web, a computer, iPad, phone, or anything like that. It's HTML5 based, so it should work on any device. All right, so now let's get into the important date, which is March 15th. So, like Hunter said, 150 per scout. You only have to have 150 per scout by the 15th. So, if you're bringing 10 scouts, I'm terrible at math, so 10 times 150, this could be 1,500. You'll just need to make sure that you have 1,500 in there. You already have a $100 deposit in there, a campsite deposit. So if you paid 1,400 and you had the 100 campsite deposit, you could register 10 scouts. If you paid less than that, but you only had 150 to cover 9, you would only be able to register for 9 scouts. The system will throw up a notification saying, hey, you can only register, you don't have enough money to register another scout. It'll say something like, pay an additional $50 to register this last scout. So just kind of think up that stuff ahead of time so you know that you're doing how many scouts you're planning on doing. I would suggest that if you know you're bringing 9, but you think you might bring 10, just go ahead and register the 9 that you know for sure are coming. You can actually change your unit count anytime between now or February 15th and into May, well into May. So you can make updates and add scouts anytime. So that's not a big deal. You just want to make sure that you get as many scouts registered as you can on March 15th.
Hey, Nate, and I will mention real quick,
Yep.
there's another date that a lot of folks will see in there is April 15th. What that is if you guys know that you have 20 scouts coming and you just haven't gotten them signed up for merit badges, we want that deposit paid by the March or the April 15th time point. So we really have a month from another timeline. But if you add scouts after that April 15th, it is no problem. We will work to get them added in, but that's just something to keep you guys in line of different timelines. You can go back and tell your unit and your parents that, hey, if you don't have your $150 paid into the unit yet, by the time that we start on March 15th, we really need that in the system by April 15th. And what that does, it gives us an understanding, because by that point, we have a really good idea from a summer camp standpoint of what to expect with sessions. And it's really comes down to materials and what we plan for the summer.
And
So
food.
just kind of keep that in mind as an idea and a goal to aim for that April 15th to have it all in the system. If it's not that big of a deal. We work with, late additions up until the point of folks that arrive the day of. We will always take a kid here at camp. We want them always to have a great experience and to get to camp and to have that opportunity. But just to help us and help you help us, that April 15th deadline would be really good to have a lot of your stuff in the system. So
Yeah, and so like we will, like Hunter said, we'll get you in there with changes after, but try to get as much as you can. Jen, I'm gonna answer your question really quick. Can you update your unit count after March 15th? Yes, you can. Melissa, you can go ahead and add all of your scouts in there and your adults as participants to your roster. So you cannot add their merit badges until March 15th, but you can do items like having their names in there and their stuff like that. So that way they're already in your list. So you can also remove scouts that are in your list. For troops that have been coming several years, they probably got a ton of scouts in their group. You can also go in and remove them just so that they're not in there if you don't need them. But that way you go ahead and have that. Can you ask us the version? Do we have to manually enter scouts and leaders, or can it be loaded from a roster or scout book? You're gonna have to manually enter them. Tentaroo is working on that integrating it eventually, the way I understood it, but it is not there now. So you will have to manually enter those. Davis, that makes it unclear if you'll be able to enter a kid's merit badge if money is not paid by March 15th. You won't be able to enter a kid's merit badge if money is not paid by March 15th. So their $150 per scout has to be paid by March 15th.
Yeah.
My point earlier was like, you need to make sure you have the $150 per scout. If you say you're bringing 10, for example, your unit financial summary you see right there needs to have $1,500 in it. That way you can register 10 scouts. You can always drop the number of scouts you say you're going to bring to get past that cap, and then go back in and add them later. All right.
And just so everybody knows, if we are moving a little fast, we're slowing it down here on our end. I apologize for moving a little quickly there to start. We get excited about this stuff, and yeah, it's so this is it becomes natural to us. So I apologize for that, and so we're going to slow it back down. But this will automatically upload to YouTube. So as you start to do this, you can have it playing right beside of your screen on your phone to be able to go ahead and walk yourself doing this starting on February 15th and then on March.
All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about Hunter March 15th.
Yeah.
Which is merit badge registration day or session registration day. So March 15th, when the window opens up, you will go in and you're going to register your scouts. All right, so what we're going to do the same thing. We'll go in, and I'm just going to tell you up front, I have this question asked every year. Do not share your unit account information with several parents in your troop and have several of them try to go in and register scouts at the same time. Because what could happen is you could all go in there and start making changes, and then it just wipe everything out and you not get your stuff. So we don't recommend you have more than one person trying to register your scout. And I'm going to tell you some options so you can try to make it a little easier for you. All right, so on the 15th of March, we're going to go in and we're going to register scouts for session. So we're going to click here. We're going to go down to past registration and go into participants. And we're going to add a youth. We'll go in here and we'll see Rowdy Raven. He's my default. We're going to check all this stuff, make sure it's all still good, and then hit next. All right. And this is going to ask you, is he a youth, adult? This really applies only to adults. So because of the way we have it set up. So you'll just hit next for the youth. If an adult, it's going to ask you if you want to do a half week or full week. This is where we're going to add sessions. So once it loads up, you'll be able to choose any session you like. So these are in numerical order based on the codes in the back of the book. Or you can search for them up here by using the search bar. You can type in camping, and it'll show you all the camping spots available. So you can do either of those. You can scroll through the list, or you can search up top. All right, so we're going to add some sessions. So you'll just hit add option. It will pull it over here, so you'll see the entire scout schedule on the right. And then it also removes any other class that can have a conflict. So you see it took away all my period 1 options because I'll have something selected for period 1. For classes that might have an age requirement or recommendation, you'll see it noted here. Now we can, as an admin team, override it. So if we need to do that, you'll just have to send an email to us, but go ahead and place them in, a free session, and then we'll get that overridden. Stuff that will not be overridden, Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. Stuff like ATV, those are strict age limits, so they will not be overridden. But stuff like a Trail to Eagle, we recommend it be for older scouts. But if the scoutmaster and the parent think that that's something that they can handle, we can override the age override. Just send an email to registration and we'll put the kid in there. But for your registration purposes, go ahead and just put them in a free session. So that way they have a full session, 6 sessions. All right.
And Nate, just to go ahead and mention that when it comes to pretty much all of the high adventure activities, they're going to be very set in stone on what those age caps are. Some of those have to do with BSA standards. Some of those have to do with local and state laws. So work with us on that. We will work with you very quickly on getting folks added in. I did have a question about that earlier. If they had a scout that they wanted to get into, let's say environmental science, and they were 12 and everybody feels like they are mature enough to handle that course at a summer camp, send us that email. We usually move very quickly on getting that in because we want to ensure that they get into that session. So just be sure to shoot us an email at registration@ravenknob.com or at my email, and we will get them added in as quickly as we can. That's not something that we typically let waiting around. So be sure to just shoot that over to us and we'll make it happen very quickly.
And then, so we're going to go ahead and add some more to the scout. So you'll see sessions and merit badges that have extra fees that'll show up here. You just have to hit OK. It does not require you to pay those fees until final checkout, your final payment. So if for some reason, we're offering a ton of merit badges throughout the schedule. We've checked them, but if for some reason you get a merit badge that's asking you to pay, or a session asking you to pay ahead of time, just shoot Hunter or registration an email so we can get that deactivated. There's several hundred options in here, so sometimes we might have missed one of the check boxes, but we tried to double check everything. So, but just go ahead and, let us know if there's any of those issues, because you don't have to pay those up front. All right. So if you had a scout that they just really wanted to do morning stuff and then have that entire afternoon free, we ask you just to put in free session for the rest of their schedule, just so that everybody can have a full schedule. All right. When there's actually some options here. So if after you get their sessions, it'll ask you if you want to do like a troop photo or anything like that for the scout. So when we're set with that, you just hit next, and then you're just going to hit complete. You don't have to change this full amount. If for some reason it popped up to pay full amount, just change it to pay minimum amount required, which is 0. Hit complete. We're going to do the exact same thing for any other scout. So same process. Hit the green arrow. The green plus, choose the scout's name, and then go through the entire session again, the entire process again. All right. On the 15th, it is most important that you register your scouts for sessions and merit badges, which we call them sessions because some of the offerings we have are not actually merit badges, they're programs. So we call them sessions. It is most important you do your scouts. Leaders can come later. So make sure you get your scouts registered, because those are the classes that fill up quick. We can go ahead and tell you there's certain areas of camp where there are limited availabilities just due to like ATV, for example. We max it out as much as we can, but we also can't fill a ton of participants every week. So those will fill up very fast. So what I would recommend you try, and Hunter, he's got this on video. So there's no possible way that we're going to get every scout that wants to take ATV in ATV. So if you have a scout that really wants to get it, try to be ready when the window opens, register that scout, then check out immediately, and then go back and add your other scouts. Because if you have 40 scouts and you fill out all their sessions for all those 40, by the time you get to the end of your entire troop or unit, there's a chance that some of those classes have filled up. There's just, that's when you have super popular programs, it's a good and a bad problem to have. We try to max it out as many as we can take, but there's limits with equipment and stuff like that. So just be cognizant of that. The ones that for your older scouts that they're really trying to get a certain program, try to get them registered first, check them out, and then go on to somebody else. programs for younger scouts, they have a lot more availability because they're offered a lot more. For example, Raven Scouts, you're not going to really have to worry about Raven Scouts filling up. I don't think we've ever filled up Raven Scouts because we'll just add more staff members and space to it. So we're good with that. That would be my recommendation, is that if you have someone that's really wanting to try to get a high adventure program, which is going to be, Hunter, tell me which ones I miss. So it's going to be ATV, climbing, mountain biking, or your shooting sports. Did I miss?
Yeah. Rampage also
Rampage.
is
Yep.
especially for some reason in the earlier parts of the summer, the Rampage program will fill up very quickly as we have limited spaces across the board. But just also note, if something does get full and it's something that you really can't work around, shoot us an email and we can see how we can adjust to it. We try to meet every need across the board, especially when it comes to personnel and space. So we try to ensure that every kid gets the opportunity to take the sessions that they want to. But just kind of keep that in mind that especially, and last year was our first year offering the ATV program, and I think that we all knew that was going to fill up fast, and it filled up faster than anything we've ever seen.
Yes.
And there's something that I will mention there, is that we do have certain laws that prohibit us from offering the session or the ATV program to certain age kids. So you have to be at least 14, and we only have so many spaces available for 14 and 15-year-olds. And then we have spaces available for 16 and 17-year-olds, because North Carolina does have an engine size law, very similar. It's the same law that Virginia has, that only 14 and 15-year-olds can ride a 90cc ATV. They cannot ride anything larger than that, according to North Carolina law. Once you get to the age 16, that does open up a little bit more and they ride bigger machines. But that's just something to keep in mind. But the high venture programs fill up very quickly, shooting sports as well. Some of them take a little bit longer, but doing everything you can on March 15th, be ready to rock and roll, will help you go a long ways here.
And I'm going to address a couple of the questions that I saw over here with this next thing. So I'm going to show you one more thing that the system will do, is actually address a couple. W. Davis is address yours. Michelle, yes, the exact same process for leaders as scouts, exact same process. And Matthew, you will pay all the scout fees with your final payment, which is about a week prior to camp. So you'll pay all their fees. They do not pay them individually at camp. The unit pays all the fees, and the unit is responsible for getting the correct money for the unit from the scouts. All right. So if you're in here and you have a scout that, say earlier you missed something, it will show you what you're missing. So you see right here, we require a shirt size. Even if you don't know that scout shirt size on that day, just put in a size and you can always go back and change it once you get it. So just don't let a shirt size stop you. Someone was asking in the questions about session caps. You will note available spots. It will show you what's available here. So for example, like free sessions, it shows you unlimited. Nature, it shows 29 spots available. If like nature or something fills up, like Hunter said, we'll go in and adjust the cap if we can by a few to get a couple more people in there. But these caps have been set based on years of watching the process and seeing how they go and what's most effective for the session. All right, so that's that. So that's the most important thing for March 15th, is that you have everything in the cart and check it out. So you'll see here, when you fill out your cart, it could have hundreds of items in there, based if you do like 10 or 12 scouts. You'll just want to check out and make sure you submit that before you do that. I'm not checking out right now because I don't want to add this fake scout to the to our week. All right. So February 15th, again, like Hunter said, that is the unit count payment. When that opens, you have from February 15th to March 15th to get that initial unit count entered and make that $150 per scout deposit. Adults do not need to have a deposit, so there is no issue for adults. Merit badges and sessions, merit badges, same thing. Open on March 15th. And I'm going to have to look. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and look. Hunter, what time did
I think you cut out there, but 9 a.m. on the 15th. Sorry, sounds like your microphone might be a little messed up there, Nate. No, now you're muted. So, anyways, I'll answer a few more questions while Nate works to get his mic back online there. So we all gotta love technology and the phrase "you're muted" these days.
All right, I think I'm back.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
All right. Cool. So March 15th, just I think we said, did we say, let me look and see what time we set this up as. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quick. Just that way I'll know.
9
It's at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So
Yep.
9 a.m. the system will go live for units, and you can make your session registration. Same thing as February 15th. It'll be 9 a.m. We set everything at 9 a.m. Both dates for unit count payment the 15th of February, and session merit badge selection on the 15th of March. How quickly does Cripple Creek fill up? It does not fill up as quickly as stuff like ATV and shooting sports.
Yeah, it can take normally a few weeks, and most of the time when we get to summer, there's normally a few spaces available. So, but I do know we have several units attending specifically to come to Cripple Creek. So if you have folks ready, go ahead and get them in. But that is another place where we have a little bit more flexibility on our numbers, being as it's located in camp, and unlike Rampage, does not require transportation to and from and things of that nature.
Anthony, answering your question, you can add your scouts to the group, but you cannot select their sessions until the 15th. You will not be able to get to the screen where you can select sessions and merit badges until the 15th. So you can add them to your group, which is like your unit roster, and then those scouts will show up when you go to register. They're already in your group. So it'll just make March 15th quicker for you because the scouts already entered, but you can't actually see their sessions. Those don't show up until the 15th.
Right. Right.
Age requirements list for merit badges that should be in the leader's guide in the back, and this the recommendations like we talked about earlier. So they'll be listed beside the merit badge or session. We will overwrite the ones we can. You just need to send us an email. We had that cap in. We had the recommendation in the system, just so we don't have a ton of first-year scouts trying to register for programs for advanced scouts. It's just an extra level to require, everyone to think a little bit about, okay, we don't need to register a first-year scout for 5 Trail to Eagle merit badges. They're going to have a not very fun time at camp. So, yeah. And that's kind of why we have those there.
One thing I will do, Max, if you'll go back to ravenob.com and share your screen again, and pull up the availability page. If you can go ahead and pull that one up. All right, give me 1 second. Not that availability, the session availability page. There you go. Okay, so this right here is going to be a gem for you guys when it comes down to it. If you guys are sitting there with a scout in a meeting and want to get them signed up for summer camp and things like that and know what sessions are going to be available. On this page, which we will share this in a follow-up because this is very helpful. This will show a live and accurate representation of what each session is currently at, as far as a cap goes. So they'll know what's full, what's not full by doing this. I will go ahead and mention last summer we had initiated a program on the Tentaroo site called the Wait List, and we will not be doing the Wait List anytime in the future. We will never be doing the wait list option. We thought when we turned it on, we were setting it on for one program, but it did it for the entire camp. And before we knew it, it was right in front of us. So we apologize for any issues that may have created last summer, but we're going to try to.
Hey, Max, can you go to the program grid really quick? Perfect. So you'll see at the top there, That is when, so we have 6 sessions or 6 time blocks throughout the day. You'll see they're listed. We start at 9 a.m. to noon for our morning sessions. Those are 3 time blocks, and then your afternoon sessions are 2 to 5, and that's the afternoon block. Merit badges that you'll see, like for example, small boat sailing is a 2-hour block. So you'll see that's why they're blocked out that way. When you go to register scouts, it will not allow you to have conflicts. It will take away, if you register for 341, it will take, which is canoeing, a 2-hour canoeing course at 9 a.m. It will take anything else out of there at 9 and 10 a.m. So you won't even, there's no chance you can have it where you'll double book a session.
Correct. And Max, if you would, if people want to find this program grid and print it out for their scouts and hand it out, can you show us how to get there? All right, we're just going to go there. You got it.
Yep. So if you're on the homepage, you can either click on the green summer camp box or come up here and choose Scouts BSA. And then if you come on the right side, or if you're on mobile, there will be a little box at the top of the screen that then you can drop down and you'll choose Leaders Guides and Forms. And then the program grid is its own separate file that you can download if you're just looking for that information with a Leader's Guide directly beneath it.
Yeah. And like I mentioned before, this page right here is one that I would definitely star into your favorites on your browser or your phone, because you can access stuff very quickly right off this page.
And I'll say one thing I saw earlier, and I think it was mentioned, but it's great to remember. We highly encourage you to make your payments through Tentaroo. If you send a check to the council, it is not going to allow you to process items until that payment is entered. And sometimes checks get lost in the mail, or it might take longer than normal. So if you have a troop check, you can still pay by check at the end of checkout. So it's like just sending a check to the council office. But we highly recommend you pay by check or credit card on our website on Tentaroo during checkout, or if you send it to Hunter, he puts it in as soon as he gets it, but that might take a couple of days.
And I'm very easy to work with. So if you guys are sending a check and it's getting close to that March 15th timeline for when sessions open up, give me a call, shoot me an email, let me know it's in the mail or something like that, and we can work with you on making sure that you're able to sign your kids up.
So we will accept any credit card and e-check. The e-check's probably the easiest. It'll come right out of your troop account, and then all you'll need is just a check with the routing and account number, and that's all you'll need.
Yep.
Does anybody have any other questions for registration? If not, I'm going to hand it back off to Hunter.
Yeah. And Nate's going to hop off with us, but we should be able to answer it here. Just to note, on the next webinar that we do exactly a month from today on March 7th, we will be going back over a lot of this and making sure that you understand the complete session registration process and how to get everybody signed up, best practices, especially when it comes to, you might have a credit card limit and things like that. So we'll tune back in a month from the day and get some of that information for you and things like that. Also, as we're leading up, come next week, March 15th rolls around, you're having a little trouble with it, shoot us an email, give me a call, and we can work through it. I'm happy to help. I can access your side of it from my end and be able to make those changes and walk you through things. So we're always happy to help in any way we can. So Nate, I think we're good with you. I appreciate you being on, and we'll see you next month.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All righty. Thank you, Nate. All right, we're going to add our program director, Ash Stemke, back in here. So hopefully that gave you a good overview of getting ready for the unit count portion to open up as we get ready for session registration. A couple of things I will mention really quick. Again, I'll reiterate the credit card payments, check payments, and e-check. We do accept all of those things. And if a lot of our units do not have a credit card and may have to get a check from 3 or 4 people, whatever it needs to be, if you do put that in the mail to come to the Old Hickory Council Service Center, please give me an update. If it's not here and it's getting close, just give me a call, shoot me an email, and we will work with you on making sure that we get your scouts registered. I do not want to let your kids fall short because the mail is running slow or it got lost in the mail. So we want to make sure that they get on top of things as quickly as they can. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Ash Stemke, our program director, and he's going to go over a few of the program updates briefly about some of our new programs, some of the highlight programs, and just some of the programs that require a little bit of extra attention. So, Ash, turn it over to you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I first want to talk about our Raven Scouts program. This is our first year camper program, which is great for our 11-year-olds or those who are first time at camp for the summer. It helps with rank advancement and things like that. The way our program at Raven Knob works is that Raven Scouts program lasts all morning long, and that's when they'll work on their rank advancement requirements. But unlike some other camps, those young scouts still have the opportunity to take merit badges or other sessions in the afternoons. So they'll do Raven Scouts from 9 to noon in the morning, and then during the afternoon, you'll be able to sign them up for basketry or nature or whatever other merit badges they wanted, swimming, first aid, whatever other merit badges they want to do in the afternoon. So that's definitely something to check out for your younger scouts. On the other hand, for your older scouts, maybe some who are approaching Eagle or already have most of the merit badges that they need, we've got all kinds of different high adventure programs to check out. As mentioned earlier, these are registered for in the same way as the merit badge sessions. I'll start by talking about our Rampage program. This one is kind of a tour de force with a lot of different high adventure things throughout the week. The participants go backpacking and whitewater canoeing and climbing and all kinds of things like that. So Rampage is a great thing for those older scouts that are looking for something super exciting and fun for the week. They stay off site several of the nights out on the trail or at our outpost. The Cripple Creek program is our sort of backcountry old time living situation where they do blacksmithing, and black powder rifle shooting and woodworking and leatherwork and all kinds of other things. They cook a lot for themselves. So that's sort of a backwoods living kind of experience. That's a great opportunity. We, of course, have mountain biking and climbing, which are some kind of fan favorites around Raven Knob. I'd also like to talk about our ATV program. And Max, if you wouldn't mind, could you pull up the ATV page on our website? I'll go ahead and say a couple of things. As we mentioned, the space in that program is limited. This will be the second summer that we're offering it, but you can go to ravennub.com/ATV, or I think that's what it is. Oh, there we go. But anyway, so you can click there or navigate to it through our program tab. Some big things to mention about the ATV experience, though, is that there is a list of items that the scouts will need to bring, and they are required by policy to complete a training course prior to arrival at camp. That big blue button right there that says ATV training course, that is where you click to get to that. The scouts will need to complete that course and turn it into us. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to start the program on the first day. There's also a hold harmless agreement further down the page that they'll need to do. So there's a couple things. There's a few other questions there. We're, of course, glad to answer questions, but I'd recommend this webpage as a place to start with your questions about the ATV program. We actually have a new high adventure program this year that we are debuting, which there's also a link to over there on the right, which is our disc golf experience. Disc golf is a super popular sport these days, and we're offering a session in the afternoon for a couple of hours. Any scouts or adults that want to learn the basics of disc golf, or maybe you're a seasoned pro and just want to go throw a disc a little bit. We actually have a disc golf course at Camp Raven Knob that you'll spend some time with, and then once or twice during the week, we're going to have you go on a field trip off-site as well to some local courses to experience the adventures there. With the disc golf program, anyone who wants to participate is welcome. You can, we are recommending the age be at least 13. You can bring your own equipment, but if not, we'll have stuff provided for you. That's also an option. One other thing I'll mention about our high adventure programs in general is that if you have any adults that are interested in participating, assuming that we have space, we're more than happy to let that happen. With something like ATV, we probably won't have space for that, but adults who want to go to Cripple Creek, or adults who are interested in participating in Rampage or want to go climbing or want to play disc golf, we have those availability for adult leaders as well throughout the week. I'd also like to talk about a couple more. I think that's all I need on the website. Thank you, Max. But there's two more programs I want to mention that we're debuting at summer camp this summer. The first is an advanced rifle shooting program. This is for scouts who already have a rifle shooting merit badge. But they're going to, I guess, learn some advanced techniques and shoot targets that are further away. and a few things like that. So just look for that on the registration grid as your scouts who have rifle or maybe looking for something else to do in the shooting sports area. And additionally, for a number of years, our trading post staff has offered the salesmanship merit badge, but they're also going to be offering the entrepreneurship merit badge this summer. That's not necessarily a new merit badge, but it's at least new to us, and we're excited to be bringing that program as an option for you all. That's about all I've got as far as program updates for the summer. There's plenty to see. That program grid that we just showed a second ago is kind of your place to look to make sure that you're scheduling your scouts in a way that makes sense. That everything's going to kind of work out there. I would recommend building their schedules prior to the 15th. Don't just show up on March 15th and go, I wonder what my scouts could take. You should probably already have that worked out so you can get them signed up in the programs and they'll be good to go. That's about all I got. Anything else, Hunter?
Great. Thank you, Ash. I'm going to answer a few of these questions going down through here. Can I send a list of that people that need the age requirement, getting that fixed up? Yes, go ahead and send that to us so we can be ready on the 15th to add those scouts into sessions if they do not meet that age recommendation. No fees on the credit cards and e-checks. I did see a thing in here about, did Ravenov purchase more ATVs? We're in the process of purchasing those. They are very difficult to come by these days. And we are on call at about 10 different Honda shops in North Carolina and Virginia trying to hunt down some 200 cc ATVs. So we're working on that. The ATSI, which governs the ATV program, does limit how many scouts can participate in one time in that. And so that's something else just to kind of keep in mind with that entire program, is that it is very difficult to manage and operate, but we try to get scouts in and out as quickly as we can and through it as many as we can during the week. So just keep that in mind. All right. I'm going to check for any more questions. A few more things I'm going to go over really quick. We are working on putting together a Rampage specific leaders guide that kind of will give those older scouts an opportunity to know more about the program. A lot of stuff you can go already find on the website under the Rampage tab, but this will be something great to send home with them. And that'll be something that we'll have coming out in the coming days. We will also are putting together a parents guide. I'm sure many of you get a ton of questions from parents on different things, like how much money should I send with my kid to the trading post, or what brand of this do you recommend, and things of that nature. What about mail, all that kind of stuff. So we are working on that. That's something that we have seen a need for and are working on getting that together. And we'll share with you guys as soon as we are able to wrap it up, because I think it'll be a great addition for you and hopefully take a little bit of the questions away that you constantly are getting from various parents. All righty. Couple other things. I will mention cooking merit badge. We have not offered cooking the past 2 years due to COVID. We'll be meeting with our health and safety team over the next few weeks. And if there is a change, we'd like to have it already, but with the COVID situation at this point, it's still up and down constantly. We will make that decision in the coming days, because we do not want to go back and say we will not have cooking merit badge after hundreds of scouts have already registered for it. So we will make that decision here soon. We are very hopeful that we will be able to offer that. I'm sure it has been a difficult one to get done, especially in the COVID environment, but we know a lot of scouts want to come to camp and get that merit badge signed off. I did get a few questions here recently on the BSA medical form on updates on that. National is coming out with updates to the BSA medical form. Those updates have not taken place and will take place on June 1st. I'm a little bit unclear, and I am working to get the answers on that, and we'll share it with you as quickly as I can on will those requirements take effect immediately, which I do not anticipate them to. So I will get that answer for you. But if you do have the questions or want to know what is coming, they do have that information out, exactly what they're looking for. If you just Google BSA health form and go to scouting.org, there's an FAQ section. Most of the updates, and they're very minor across the board, have to do with immunizations, which is not necessarily a surprise, given what we're working with right now. And it's not just a COVID-19 immunization. It has to do with all immunization records from years prior. So it's something when a scout were to come to camp and if a situation were to come up and we needed to know whether they've had their immunization for a certain disease, and they needed treatment or things like that. So it's just a preventative to help down the road. So you can see that coming out, but I do not anticipate that to change much this summer for you guys. One of the recommendations we do have, if you have folks that have taken the COVID-19 vaccine, to have that listed on the health and or the BSA medical form. That's just something for our Health Lodge team to know, and if any treatment were to need to happen, if somebody contracted COVID-19 while at camp, and situations like that. I know we're all, getting tired of hearing COVID-19, but it's very real in what we have to do with summer camp. It's a very big process of what we have to go through and working with our local and state health departments and rules and regulations that come from the governor of North Carolina. No updates have changed since this point last year, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing, because we would like some new updates and new governance coming down, and we will share that with you as quickly as we can get it. Some of you that have registered over the past few weeks may have not been assigned to your campsite at this point in time, and that is something that I'm working on currently. I was actually on vacation for a week here recently, so I'm trying to catch up and get that piece squared away so everybody knows where they are camping for the week. Let's see here. Just want to go back through, make sure on my notes I didn't miss anything. I do want to answer a few questions here. How's the food at your fine dining hall? I've been eating the food at beautiful Camp Raven Knob for a solid 15 years on camp staff. I'm not a small guy, and I get plenty to eat each day. And we try to make sure that our scouts get enough to eat. During certain times, we do offer seconds in the dining hall, so scouts can get an opportunity to come back through. And we are hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get our salad bar back up and running, or the salad option back up and running for this upcoming year. We've definitely missed it. We've had a lot of scouts, and I'm sure many of you that have come year after year have missed the salad bar at lunch and dinner. And so we are working on getting that back as quickly as we can. The menu for camp will be updated in due time. Please note that the menu could change at any point in time due to the continuous and ongoing supply chain issues. We are not immune to that whatsoever. So just kind of keep an eye as that something could change. And you can see a menu online currently on the website, and that won't vary too much off of that. All right. Melissa, we are unsure on the mask situation for camp at this point in time. Current North Carolina regulation does have summer camp still from last year in April. It was April, May. The governor put out our requirements for operating a summer camp, and that was one of the requirements that has not been updated. Normally updates it as we get into the summer camp season. So we will expect to see that over a few weeks, few months from now. No, there is no difference in how we treat anybody that's vaccinated or unvaccinated, though we recommend everybody get the COVID-19 vaccine. We understand that some folks have chosen not to, whether it was a health thing, working with their doctor, whatever it may be, but there is not a difference in that. We do a tremendous amount of work to ensure that we have a very good COVID-19 mitigation plan and how we address COVID and how quickly we do. And we work with our local health department as well as with the national organization to address those as quickly as possible if we were to have it in camp. I wish I could answer a whole lot of questions around COVID, as I know that is something that is a hot topic with everybody, but we do not have a crystal ball to be able to know when we roll up for week 1 on June 19th, what exactly we are going to be how camp is going to operate. We have our plan, and you can see that plan online for the way we operate during a COVID environment. But we are working every day to ensure that though we may be still in parts of a COVID environment, that we get back to some of the routine and normal summer camp situations, environments, to ensure that kids are experiencing what summer camp was in 2019. So that's something we're constantly working on. It is very much an uphill battle, and I hope you all know that, because we fight it every day in trying to make sure that we can get back to more routine. And if you have more COVID questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help. And if I can't help you, I'll be happy to point you over to our health and safety team with our camp doctor or camp health lodge staff. All right. Let's see. Max, did we have anything else?
We had a question about golf carts. Do you want to go over that policy?
So the golf carts at Raven Knob, that's an interesting situation compared to years past. The golf cart supply around the world has not been immune to the supply chain issues and availability. At this point, we will have golf carts available for what we need them for in camp. We will not be able to supply golf carts to our units like we may have a few years back because, one, we just cannot get them. And they are much more expensive from where they were a few years ago. A few years ago, we were able to provide golf carts to folks who may need them to travel around camp, but we are unable at this time to provide those for anyone. Well, I'll be happy to share with you local golf cart suppliers that may have availability. And Doc, I'll be happy to share that with you and get in touch with you here tomorrow and get you all that information. So get you worked up. And I would like to share Doc that has joined us. Doc is from Troop 28 up in Pennsylvania, and this will be his 40th summer with us at Raven Knob. So we're excited for you, Doc, and welcome you back. It's been a few years, but we're happy to get number 40 in for you here in 2022. All right. Max, do you want to talk about provisionals really quick?
Yeah, I can. So at Raven Knob, our Provisional Scout program, the registration for that is slightly different than at other camps. In order for you to register as a Provisional Scout, which just means that you are not coming with your troop, whether that is you can't make it the same week that your troop is coming, or you want to come a second week, that is what entails the Provisional Scout program. So to register for the Provisional Scout program, you go to the same page on the website, the Scouts BSA tab, and then choose the Provisional Scouts green button beneath the countdown, and that will take you to our Provisional Scout registration form. We do actually have a special for those of you that might have scouts that want to come back for a second week or even a third or fourth week if they really are so inclined to. It is the Raven Repeat. And that offer means that the scouts that choose to come back for a second week or third, fourth, etc., get to come to Raven Knob for a base price of $260 instead of the normal base price of $345. So they get to save almost $100 coming back a second week if they would like to. Once again, that same registration is on the Provisional Scouts page on our website if you would like to participate in that program. And with Provisional Scouts, generally when you submit this form, within probably about a day or so, you should get some sort of email back from us that says, hey, we've gone ahead and registered your scout. This is what they've actually gotten as their sessions. In the event that some of the sessions may have filled up, we'll go ahead and notify you and ask you if there's a second choice or a third choice as needed.
And we've seen our Provisional Scout program really grow over the past year with folks that would like to catch back up or get back on the ball with summer camp. We had a few folks come 3-4 weeks last summer. So I would encourage those folks to come back for a second week, a discounted rate. And in fact, if you have a scout that's coming with your troop and they want to come before you guys arrive, we'll be happy to apply that Raven Repeat program rate to before they come. With your unit. So happy to work with them on that. The last thing I will mention is, though, tonight was mainly centered around our Scouts BSA resident camp. If any folks out there have a Cub pack that would be interested in attending resident camp, we do have space available for our Cub Scout resident camp, which is June 16th through the 19th. Just want to make sure. Sorry. 15th through the 18th, June 15th through 18th, which is a Wednesday through Saturday. If any folks are interested in having their Cub Pack attend with us for that half week, we'd be more than happy to have them. We get folks from out of council that attend every year, and we'd be happy to have those folks join us with our in-council folks. So, anyways, well, I said we were going to be here about an hour, and I don't think we could have gotten it any closer there. So, just a few seconds left here. If you do have any questions, I think we're going to wrap up answering the questions here live. But if you do have questions, again, registration at ravenknob.com or hunter.day@ravenknob.com, and we will be happy to answer your questions. We are getting a high volume in emails right now. We try to respond in a day and hopefully within 2 as quickly as we can. If you do have urgent questions, feel free to give us a call. You can call us at camp. If you do call camp, you will get an automated service, just so you know that. You can hit the button as it comes to registration for summer camp, and that will patch you over to myself or one of the folks here at our council office. So feel free to reach out. All right, Max, Ash, we good? Great. Well, we look forward to seeing everybody on March 7th at 7 p.m. Our next webinar right here. We will send out that link to you on our FAQ email list and the Tentaroo Messenger app. So we will see you right back here. You can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and get notified when we do these. So I will mention that. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We do put up different videos throughout the year. So anyways, that way you can keep up to date with what's going on with Raven Knob on YouTube. Also, going to go ahead and mention Facebook and Instagram. Those are the 2 places we are constantly putting updates on, specifically that Facebook page. If you folks are on Facebook, go to Raven Knob Scout Reservation and give us a follow so you can stay up to date with anything that we may put there. We do a lot of promos for our programs and updates through the year so you can see what beautiful Camp Raven Knob looks like during the snowy months that we're in right now. So hope everybody stays warm over the next few days. I can promise you that in about 4 months, we've got warm and sunny days coming to you live at Camp Raven Knob. So anyways, all right. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you being here with us. Take care, and we'll see you soon.